Maria Parrella-Ilaria is a local visual artist who currently has a gallery entitled Nestled in My Mother's Garden, set up at Cameracraft.
I'm working on a series of year-long journals. I guess it's probably the best way to say it. Pictorial journals about an urban garden space that I have that is attached to my house, which is down here in the downtown core of Sault Ste. Marie. And it's a space that is elevated. It's got a garage and car spots underneath it. And the garden is a space that's been in my family for years, like maybe 40 years or so. But it's also a very secluded and private place. And I thought it would be a really interesting challenge for me anyway, to document the space for 3 to 5 years, just to show how things change and maybe, who knows, maybe they stay the same, but maybe things change drastically. But it was just, that was part of the challenge. And so last year was my first visual journal that I did here at Cameracraft. And this is the second installment of that show, of that journaling process, actually, is what I should say.
Maria decided to photograph the whole gallery on her smartphone and use various apps to edit the photos.
In both years, I've decided to set other challenges, and another challenge was to strictly use a smartphone to photograph and document aspects of my garden, and to actually use the smartphone as a means of editing these images. And there's even apps that I've used to send images off to be developed, that sort of thing. So I tried to keep it all within the digital realm, and tried to keep it all very user-friendly. And I just was curious to see what the technology is all about and how far I could push it. I really want my images to have a great presentation in terms of the depth of color that can be achieved. That's part of the reason why a lot of them are processed to the point of having really, really saturated elements. There's a lot of images too that are quite natural. They are just the way that I saw them and the way that I saw them and clipped them, and there you go. But I like playing with extremes, and I think photography doesn't always have to be, and this is going to sound strange, but true to life. There can be abstract elements to it. There can be, you can push it to the edge, why not? You might as well have fun, especially if we're working with a technology that can deal with that, so why not?
A huge inspiration for the gallery was Maria's mom, who sadly passed away recently.
My mom fell ill and passed away in March of 2014. So that became part of this documentation, because my mom was key in the construction and nurturing of the garden that exists on our second floor at the back of our house. So even though she herself is physically no longer with us, the garden is still very much a part of my life and my husband's life and my father's life, and I still think she's very much with us, because the garden continues, and so therefore so does she. And every time I'm in the garden, I think of my mom, and be it the garden at the house or the garden at my father's house, her presence is still very much there. So, so a lot of the images in this show take a look at how things grow from seemingly nothing and continue to grow and continue to produce seed, and then move on to another state, and the constant transitions. And so very much like life and death.
Maria's gallery will be on display at Cameracraft for the month of October. She will also be at the gallery Wednesday afternoons from 2 to 5 p.m. for the month of October. If you want more information on Maria's work, you can visit her website at www.openartstudios.ca. For Go Sault Ste. Marie, I'm David Carlasio.